Hi and welcome to Fab Parks. I've recently visited Disney World in Orlando and I've uploaded lots of videos, including a survival handbook in case you are, let's say, Mickey Mouse intolerant. But I wanted to spend some time talking about Tron because it's the newest coaster just opened in Magic Kingdom, and there were lots of expectations and also lots of waiting for this to be opened because it took Disney ages to open it. And as you probably know, reviews were kind of a mixed bag. Probably expectations were too high, but I just wanted to share with you my honest review after riding Tron 3 or 4 times, what I think of this coaster, and let's start with the verdict. I think it's the perfect addition for a Disney park, but yes, there is a but. First of all, let's put it in context. Disney World is made of 4 parks. Currently, I think 173 attractions and 0 inversions. There used to be Rock and Roller Coaster, which is currently closed, which was the only inverting coaster. This screams out loud the target of the park, which is made of families, and all the rides and the coasters are kind of mild, not intense. They are family oriented. In this context, Tron is a perfect fit, it's a perfect addition, and I think the frustration comes from higher expectation, or expecting Tron to be a super intense coaster of like of Velocicoaster, for example, which was not what it was designed to be and is not delivering in that space. Let's keep in mind that this is a copy and paste of Tron in Shanghai, which opened in 2015. And this is a kind of key information, 2015, because the Tron that we are experiencing today, also due to the delays linked to the COVID and all that, it's something that has been designed 10 years ago. So if we're going to compare a coaster which is 10 years old with the latest technology and the newest coaster that recently opened, which are a showcase of all the different options and effects and transitions that you can currently have in the market, then Tron is struggling. It's struggling because it was not designed back then to be super intense, but also has been designed 10 years ago. So, what are the strengths and weaknesses of this coaster? I would say the strengths are for sure the visual impact, especially of the outside area with these magic light effects, especially at night. In terms of riding experience, I would say the pre-show it's breathtaking, especially the screen that becomes transparent and shows you the station with the train just being launched. But it's definitely adding wow factor. In terms of a riding experience, it's a good mix of I wouldn't say intensity, but projection, onboard soundtrack, a kind of interesting layout, and so the overall on-ride experience it's good. I'm not 100% sure about the outdoor part, just because it's super short, and I think it makes a difference when you are off-board under this massive canopy, especially during the night, but when you are riding the ride itself, it's not really adding that much. But the rest of the riding experience, it's really good and enjoyable. A perfect mix of a coaster with projection, with onboard soundtrack, effects, and all that. In terms of intensity, it's perfectly balanced and a perfect fit for Disney standards. It's similar to the Guardians of the Galaxy or to the Rock and Roll Coaster or to Space Mountain in Paris. They are designed for family, they are fluid, but they're not supposed to be brutal. Of course, if you compare it to a super intense coaster like Velocicoaster, is not gonna keep the pace. But also compared to a similar type of coaster, so launch and family, like Hagrid Motorbike Adventure. you can feel 10 years difference, considering that Hagrid has got 10 launches, a dropping track, backward launch, and all that. In terms of riding experience, I would say the riding position on the motorbike is not of the most comfortable. And also a bit of a disappointment because this train was marketed as this massive innovation, being motorbike shaped, and in reality it's just a nicer version of a super old Vekoma motorbike train, which we got also in UK in Flamingo Land. I think the main frustration comes from the fact that people were expecting a version 2.0 of the one in Shanghai, while this one is a pure copy and paste. It's identical. Also, this would have been a perfect dueling coaster, so having two trains and having this race between the orange train and the blue train, which is also a loophole in the story itself, because the whole station is talking about the blue team and the blue train, but actually blue team and blue train are the only one that are in the attraction itself. So say that this would have been a massive, bigger investment, but a dueling coaster would have been just the perfect fit for the teaming as well. I also have some doubts regarding re-rideability, because I think the first ride has got this wow factor given by the pre-show and the station and the track layout itself and all the projection and effects during the ride. But when you ride it the second time, you actually start feeling that the ride itself is too short and not so intense, and probably when you ride it the third time, you get even more disappointment. So I'm not really sure if it's a ride that you wanna keep riding non-stop. So I said, yes, it's a good coaster and it's a perfect addition for Magic Kingdom, but it's not even the best coaster in Disney World, because Guardians of the Galaxy is just superior on every single aspect, from the pre-show to the track length, to the riding experience, to the intensity. It's just different. A curiosity, the only difference between the Tron in Shanghai and the one in Orlando is the last row of the train, which has been adapted for bigger guests or guests with reduced mobility. And then further frustration comes from the virtual queue. Currently the only way is to get a slot in the virtual queue, and of course this is going to put a limit in terms of how many times you can ride this coaster during the day. Currently just one. So here is the review of Tron. It's a really nice coaster. I really liked it. I'm not sure if I would re-ride it like so many times, but for sure it's not the best coaster in the world. I think currently that one is Velocicoaster, and also it's not the best coaster in Disney parks either. But I still think it's a nice addition, perfect fit for Disney parks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel and feel free to have a look at the playlist where I have uploaded lots of videos around Disney World Orlando.